Hello and welcome to The Boy and the Bear. I'm Stephen, host, mediator and general voice of reason. And a week of fixtures that sees Old Firm come up against what is looking like Celtic's most realistic title challenger, I'm delighted to announce that we are not only joined by our resident boy and bear, Pat and Scott, but our good friend and more importantly, Aberdeen fan, Jordan. Welcome to The Boy and the Bear, mate.
Thank you very much. It's an honour and a privilege to represent the most successful Scottish club in Europe.
Welcome, Jordan. I like that Steve said that being an Aberdeen fan is more important than being a friend.
You don't know him.
Hello, Jordan.
Hi, Scott. Hi, Pat. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
Very enthusiastic. Hello there, Scott.
I'm trying to be nice.
Well, listen, before the show inevitably goes off the road, I'd like to at least get compliments in Boys and Bears. Paddy boy, you're up first.
Cool. Well, my compliment this week is we always like to praise, the smaller clubs for keeping pace, with the big two at the top. So I'd just like to congratulate Rangers and hanging in there in third and, sticking around while the big two are at the top of the table, battling out a entertaining draw.
It's a shite show. It's good to see you, Pat. It's always wonderful. I love these fucking moments of compliments. It's the thing that gives me the most joy in the week. Just waiting for your sarcastic as fuck compliment. Thank you so much.
Well, seriously though, what have I got to work with this week?
Broxy Bear is the best bear on the fucking planet. That's about it. All right? That's about as much as you've got. All right?
Scott, you were playing away. Broxy wasn't even there, mate.
I know, that's all I've got, mate. That's all I've got. So my compliment to you is at least you can create chances and take them, score goals. I wished to Christ we'd be able to score a goal. That's fantastic. One away goal all season. That is pathetic. Pish.
Joint worst record in the league, innit?
Yep. Just one baldy manager and one fucking shite record that's great, innit?
Club legend.
He is, aye. Joins another long list of fuds like Michael Beale.
I meant Aberdeen club legend, but yeah.
Let's move on to our new feature, which is I Come in Peace. Not that that's going to continue for very long. This is where Scott and Pat and Jordan this week can ask one question without an immediate double down and sharks being thrown. Jordan, you can ask either of the two your question, but I'm going to come to you last. Scotty, you're leading the way, please, mate.
Thanks. It's nice to get this out of the way. So, my question for Pat this week is, what's the one thing that you would like to change about the Celtic squad?
I think that's a really good question. I think we're really lacking the one thing that Roger said he wanted to bring in the summer, which was power. I think we've made really good signings, as I've already on record saying, but they're still quite lightweight players. Engels isn't exactly the most physical. Neither is Luke McCowan. Neither is Valle, the left back from Barcelona. And I feel like, especially in Europe, I feel like we're missing that sort of stereotypical powerhouse sort of CDM that you'd always play in FIFA. Someone just in between the midfield and defence to break things up and just support Callum McGregor. Because I just don't think Callum McGregor's that player. He's so tidy on the ball, such a great passer of the ball, but. Yeah,
when was the last time you had that? When was the last time you say you had that?
Maybe Brown, peak Scott Brown. Bit of a sort of, for want of a better word, like that destroyer in the middle of the pitch. Not that great technically, but hard in the tackle and, got in people's faces.
Does Hatate not fill that role?
Hatate, again, I think he's still more, you'd still consider him more a attacking midfielder than a defensive one. I think the only sort of natural defensive midfielder we've got is Callum McGregor. You can maybe make a case for Paulo Bernardo, but he was bullied off the ball in the Dortmund game. So I think there's definitely that's the area in January I'd love to see. I'd love to see us bringing in someone really powerful. The player that we thought Diamande was going to be for you guys, I think.
Okay,
or the player he started out being, certainly.
Yeah,
but
we'll get on to that later on.
Yeah, just more power generally, a bit more physicality. Yeah. With Cameron Carter-Vickers out of the team, we're just, I don't think we lose the game. I don't think we draw the game with Aberdeen, and I don't think we'd chip 7 to Dortmund. But hopefully he's back for the game against Atlanta.
Keep your hands off Graham Shinnie, please. We're not getting him.
Shindog.
Your question for Scotty, Pat?
I've got one for Jordan as well. Sorry, lads.
Do you, mate? I know what he's saying.
Oh, for me as well. Like,
You just run the show, pal. You just
I
run the
just
show.
I thought, we include the guest a wee bit.
It's going to be a tough episode for you, mate, so you crack on.
This is the only joyous thing I've got, so thanks. So, John, I just wanted to come in pieces, the title says. So, obviously, every time a Aberdeen player comes to Rangers, they're just absolutely...
Judases, yeah.
I just don't understand why they get so much hate. They can't even go to a pub for a pint in Aberdeen anymore, even though they came through and they gave a good service for the club. It just seems to be they get so much hate. And then obviously when, like Ross McCrory went up to Aberdeen, everyone wished him well, from the Rangers point of view. I just wondered why it's so much hate is directed at the players when they come to Rangers.
A Rangers fan asking about hate.
Short answer is because they're scumbags, really.
Okay, that's always that. I knew that. I just started to get that on record then.
There's rivalry,
Yeah.
So you've got obviously, let's take some examples. Let's take three off the top of our heads. You've got Ryan Jack, the wee rat. You've
Brilliant.
got
Legend.
Scott Wright, another wee rat. And you've got Connor Barron, a bit of a nice guy, but now a rat. So
all three of them are really nice guys,
You put your coaching into the youth system to bring these boys through. We take in 2 or 3 every season, usually loan them out the same season. They come back the year later, and then 1 or 2 might actually integrate over the next 3 years. That tends to be our policy. But these guys, they never tend to go for money, do they? They always tend to go for free.
It's all for free. It's just
so we just do all that, and then you jump across to our most bitter, hated rivals, where you can say our biggest game of the season, where it's pretty plain to see from a fan perspective that this is the game that you've got to do something. You've got to try. If we get beat, we get beat. But you've got to try in this game. You can probably see that with the elevation levels we have at Pittodrie. And so they know all that. And a lot of them tend to be from the area. We don't tend to get youth players from Dumfries or Galloway and Glasgow. They're all local boys, tend to be local fans. And then they go to our bitterest rivals. But, I guess being a guy who has a job himself, I don't really begrudge them too much for, climbing their salary by 4 times. But that doesn't mean I'm going to like them. So they made their bed and they can lie in it. Yeah,
I just think you've got, football's a short career and people move on for bigger thing, bigger wage packets.
Moving on for trophies, aren't they?
No, clearly not. What's a trophy? Can you spell a trophy at Ibrox? But I think obviously from a wage perspective, I think you've got to respect that they're going to make the best.
That's fine.
They're not getting a Celtic team. It's fucking open door at Rangers, isn't it?
So there was that actually. The Bannon, I guess, Baron. That I guess Celtic might have been going for him, and then Rangers were definitely going for him. You're like, well, you won't play for Celtic, but you'll definitely play for Rangers. Smart choice, but there's always the option of just go to League One in England, go to bottom 12 teams in Championship.
But do you think though, as a platform for a good young Scottish player, that playing in League One gets you that same level of exposure as playing for either Rangers or Celtic in European competitions on a more regular basis?
I would question what exposure that is, because you just go out the competitions anyway.
No, I know, but you're still playing against top quality opposition more regular than you would playing for Gillingham or Fleetwood. I think.
Yeah, I guess fair point, but it's the same cash. I guess you're going from a 60,000 seater, I guess, or whatever it is at Ibrox to whatever Fleetwood is. It's not really the same experience.
Yeah, but you might also think that if you really back yourself, which I imagine all footballers do, that you could be the next Virgil van Dijk or Moussa Dembele or whatever it is, and use it as a platform. Whether that's quite hard to do. When
local Aberdeen lad Virgil van Dijk.
Well, Scott
Brown, players like that have come from smaller clubs like Hibs, etc. So. That would be mad. If I'm a professional footballer, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's more of a showcase, like Scotty says. If you're playing European football, you only have to have a couple of decent games, and it's better than having a few decent games in League One, isn't it?
Yeah, I get it, but quotes of Ryan Jack was an absolute joy for a good 4 or 5 seasons where he's left Aberdeen to win trophies and won absolutely hee-haw. So
got more Scotland caps, so.
Indeed, it's good for his career, but I'm not going to like him. No fans are going to like him.
So you went buy him a pint in the pub?
Nah, it's spitting the guy, no. So if a Rangers player that was doing well for your team thought, I'm just going to go to Celtic Park, what's your reaction? Good luck, mate. Enjoy winning the league. Good luck in the Champions League next year. I don't think that's really happening.
It depends on what player. If it's Cyril Dessers, I'll fucking drive in there myself. But no.
Famously long drive as well. It's really good.
Yeah, it's it's all about the petrol, mate. It's all about saving the planet, and the 1 litre punter. But no, I do agree. I do think obviously Celtic it's the same. You'd be grudging them going because you're like, you dirty bastard. But at the same time, if it's for more money, then we've all ambitious in that sense. People want to make as much money as they can. So during your career, so I suppose you can't begrudge them, but you're still going to hate them. So yeah, I just thought I just wanted to ask.
When you're saying this before you said that, I was going to think that there's some things that are bigger than money, and it's not as if that money he's getting is unavailable elsewhere.
No, true.
They can make these choices, and they chose to do that. And good on them, but they're going to get booed when I see them on that same day.
Yeah,
you'd share yourself, right? Jack walked in a pub you were sitting in.
But... Oh, what, 5'4"? I don't think so.
Paddy, your question for Scotty? Or have you just gone rogue as well and got one for Jordan?
I've got some questions for Jordan later on, but my coming piece this week is purely for our greatest rival. Scott, given that Clement has a worse record than Michael Beale, why is there currently so much less fury directed Clement's way than there was at Beale this long into his reign?
I think it's apathy towards the entire situation at the club. I think the fans are so fed up with the position we're in, year upon year, shit decision after shit decision, piss poor recruitment. I think they've just given up. I think they've got no energy left to be angry. I think it's now these results like that, or the performances that come with these results and stuff. You just expect it. You're going into Ibrox or you're going away from home just expecting this type of result, and I think that's just the whole situation in the club, and that's why fans have probably not got the anger directed towards Clement as they did Michael Beale, because we all thought, Beale spent the money, this is going to be the season, this is going to be good, and then it's like, what the fuck are we watching? Whereas it's the same stuff now happening, and it's just, I don't know, it's just mental. So I think it's just purely down to that they've got absolutely no energy left to be angry, because there's that many problems.
Beale, they've got nothing left.
Yeah. Thanks for using that. I was going to use that later, but yeah, bastard, take it out. Sorry. But yeah, I just think there's that much wrong with the club, and it's, as a fan, you're just, where do you direct your anger at? The manager, the squad, the board,
Tavernier,
George
Tavernier, Connor Goldson, Ryan Jack for being injured, John Lundstrom for fucking off to Turkey, all these things. So yeah, it's. I do understand, because he has, to have a worse record than Michael Beale is something. By the way, I tell you what, like, that's when I saw that the other day, I was like, you've got to be fucking shitting me. How can you have a worse record and then come in a year ago and criticise the guy and say your team that he's inherited isn't fit enough, isn't able to compete, and then you get two goals at trying to strengthen it, and this is what you're producing. So yeah, it's going to be a long season. I'm really in love with this podcast. It's fucking great.
This is sweet nectar to hear. I can tell you that.
See, the next time you're on, Jordan, I'll be fucking rocking back and forth,
Oh, Jordan, I'd imagine your questions for Scott. So fine.
The brief did say I could only to one person, but I can happily say it to both. But yes, it's to Scott initially. Do you believe inconsistent or poor performances from players which are being abused by their own fan base is 1, weak mentality, or 2, just a toxic fan base?
I kind of had a feeling this would be coming up. So yeah, great question.
Start rocking now.
Oh, I'm already rocking. I'm just trying to keep the feet steady, but the rocking's coming.
Just before you answer that, Scott, see the fact that you guys lost on Sunday, knowing that Jordan was coming in, it was like the best thing that's ever happened.
I know.
I lost my voice. Laughing.
See, when I knew that, I was like, right, okay, hopefully the result goes the way we want it, and we can have a positive performance, and I can't get shot down too much. But then, obviously, come full time on Sunday, I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to sit in my house and cry like a grown man. It's going to be fun, isn't it? But to answer your question, Jordan, I would say it's, to be in the middle, I would say it's 50-50. I think the mentality from certain players, I just don't think they get the expectation. I don't think they can deal with the expectation to win every game. Whether Rangers are in a position to be successful right now or not, the expectation is still the same. We're still expected to win, still expected to put a performance on. And I think some of these players that have come in don't get it, can't get it, and then that's why they're struggling. I think it's evident that I don't think the manager gets it right now. I think he's coming out after poor results and performances and talking about stats and how, his one for the weekend there was, we were really dominant in the second half. What fucking game are you watching? Do you know what I mean? I honestly would love to know what crack he is smoking, because it might help me. But
well, my rebuttal to that would be: do you think the players that have this so-called elitism mentality are a dime a dozen, or do you think it's rare?
I think maybe back in the day it was probably a dime a dozen, whereas now, modern football, modern players, I don't think you get them as much at the kind of lower end of player purchases, that you're making the £5-6 million. You might get the odd one that is a proper leader and gets that. And I do think that, I think the mentality comes from within your club. I think that's why you need to build from within and promote from your youth system more often, so that they've already got that buy-in. They already know the structure. They already know the history, the demands, everything that's placed on them from a young age, and they get that. Whereas I think it's a hit or miss if you're coming in from outside, whether you get it or not.
Well, see, on the flip side, Scotty, though.
Yep.
On the same hand, James Tavernier, when you look back in 10-15 years, is going to be regarded as a Rangers legend. Now that sounds funny just now. I don't know, if you took any other club legend to that extent, maybe, I know club legend's a bit strong with, but modern club legend, I'll say.
Yeah.
Look how much abuse you've given him in the last 2 seasons.
I know.
So you can say, and maybe he is a leader, but there's only so much you can actually deal with at the end of the day.
And that's what I was going to get onto, like, we're saying 50-50, because I do think there is an element of toxicity within the fan base that shouldn't be there. I've said to you guys multiple times, I don't personally agree with going online and messaging a player direct. I think that's a shite bag thing to do. The guy's a professional, whether you like him or not, whether he's
doing it on a podcast instead.
Yeah, we just formed a podcast.
It's not directly to his face. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying, I don't call him out and say,
you're giving balance and reason discussion by calling everyone shite bags.
Yeah, but I'm not. But I'm not saying, like, some of the vile that these players have to deal with, vile messages and stuff, like, that's fucking too far. Like saying someone, you're not good enough to be at this club. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. You would say that, if someone wasn't good at their job, you would say, I don't think this job is for you. You should maybe look elsewhere. Right?
That does not happen at my work.
No,
at all.
No, it's the same with my work, mate. Sorry, but I'm one of them.
No, I was trying to help you, Scott, with, like, if it's a
beyond help, mate.
If it's a rare commodity,
yeah.
I mean, if they exist, why would they choose your team? Why would they choose Celtic? Why would they choose our league?
Yeah,
if that level of player exists, they're not coming to us.
No, they're not. And I think the days, I think this ties into toxic fan base. I think, the days of signing a Laudrup or a Gascoigne for Rangers or Celtic, with the Larson, I don't think you're going to get that very often. You might get that 1 in 100 players or something. You might get someone that goes on to, like Virgil van Dijk, for example, right, goes on to absolute world-class status. I think those days are over for the league, for both teams.
How? We just sold Matt O'Reilly for 35 mil.
Right, Matt O'Reilly's not different type, but he's not world-class at the moment, mate. I mean,
Van Dijk wasn't.
When he sold, no, but he's gone on to, and I what I'm saying is, I think that time for signing players like Gascoigne, Laudrup on a regular basis aren't there anymore.
Not on a regular basis, but Aberdeen have sold Miovski this summer, who's going to go on and have a great career. We've talked about our transfer record a lot. Right, look, mate, I actually agree. I want to stick up for you a little bit, because I think the bigger the football club, the more pressure and expectation you're going to get, and the bigger the football club, the more likely you are to have a larger concentrated group of people that are going to throw abuse your way. That's just how it works. The more fans that a club has, the more likely you are to get abuse.
That's the confusion I think both your fan bases have. You confuse the pressure of expectation with the pressure of abuse. where I don't understand the social media thing where if an Aberdeen player plays badly, I will dive into Instagram and DM him. Don't understand that at all. Good performance, bad performance. Don't get it. Weird.
He just signs for Rangers and you call him a rat.
Well, if I saw him, but I've not seen any of them. But I just kind of feel like
he just sends letters to them. I mean, you are a rat. You are a rat. Rat. If I see you in Aberdeen, I'm going to spit in your pint.
He won't come back to Aberdeen, will he? He's a shite bag.
Moving on to Souness and Asibo. I want this to be rapid this week because I generally don't want to put you through the constant torture, Scott. We do have nice parts of the podcast coming up for you. So you get yours out of the way, pal, and we'll move straight on to Pat.
Well, where do I start?
Two Souness member.
Yes. Thank you so much. The first one, tickets are so easy to get right now. It's fucking incredible. I tell you what. And the second one, I think they're doing half price on hot dogs, so it's pretty good. So that's the two Souness this week, boys. And the
carved up Broxy Bear, and they're serving them up.
Absolutely. A bear burger, $16.90 for the chips as well.
That's a signing.
It's a good sight. This isn't a bad deal, like. And the SIBO, it's all pish. There we go. It's all pish. Now, to be fair, the structure of to be serious, the structure of the team is something that I think hasn't been evident for a wee while. And I think on Sunday you could see that it was just a hoping and praying that individuals step up and produce quality rather than the structure allowing players to play well. It was just almost a hit and hope, and I'm going to throw people in positions that they're not suited to, and hopefully their individual quality shines through. So I think the structure of the team is the most concerning thing at the moment.
Paddy boy.
Yeah, so my two DeCanios and a Dewey, turn it into my weekly plug for Luke McCowan. Yet again, he came on. I thought he just looked so bright when he came on. He only had a 20-minute cameo.
Why is he not starting?
Good question. I think I could understand him not starting in the Champions League yet because you want to sort of bleed someone into that. Domestically, I am firmly on the Luke McCowan bandwagon. Give the boy a start in the next domestic game. I think he brings a lot of energy to midfield. The other DeCanio is Liam Scales, and I think he's about as reliable as you could possibly hope, as you could have ever hoped he'd be now. And I wanted to quickly ask Jordan, given that he spent time on loan at Aberdeen, that's clearly helped get him to where he is now. What was he like at Aberdeen? I know he was in the team that lost at Darvel, but
yeah.
What could you see that there was a player there that was improving, or was he very raw? And would you take a similar stature of player on loan from Celtic in seasons to come?
I was delighted with him. I thought it was another case of a good player at Celtic that'll never get a chance. Come to us on loan, we'll buy him in the summer. Mm-hmm. So I genuinely thought he played really well. There was no issues whatsoever in defence, certainly from him. I didn't expect him to play the way he's playing at Celtic. I thought he would go back, and I was like, why bother? He'll probably go to someone in England, I imagine, now. He wouldn't get into the starting 11, certainly, but he's definitely earned his place.
Yeah. I think it's a good example of the loan system working, within the same league. And Celtic have got a couple of other players out at, clubs within the SPL, Quans at Hibs. And I'm hoping that feels to me like a better way for Celtic to do business is loan players out, improve the league, whilst also at the same time improve your own player. But yeah, moving back to my Dewey, not convinced by Trusty. Strange name for us, unreliable centre to have. Rusty Trusty. I think he's got a bit of work to do to get to the level of Scales and Carter Vickers, who sort of
is Scales a level now though, or are you just is Scales kind of like just there until you do actually just go and get another centre back?
No, he's genuinely,
because some of his performances improved in the Champions League have been
our man of the match in the first Champions League game, and then I don't think you could back anyone against Dortmund, but
not be to question your centre back.
Yeah, but I thought it was Trusty that was the one that was at fault. Scales, like I said, he's as reliable as Carter Vickers has been this season, and he's got a better injury record. I think he's now a player that sort of knows his limitations. Before he was maybe taking chances with his passes and driving forward, and now he's improved his passing. He's a great last-ditch defender, and I don't worry about him being in the team in the same way that I did at the start of last season.
But to be a good defender in Scotland, and he is certainly that, doesn't mean he's on the upper echelons of Champions League standard and needs to be looked at and viewed downly upon. Like you've talked about this quite a bit at length in this podcast.
It doesn't, but I will always go back to that. Pat always says that Celtic have to be judged on Champions League performances and not domestic. So why would you buy players or have players in your squad who you outright know can't play at that level?
Have you said that?
He has, mate, yeah. Multiple times. Take notes.
We were told by Rodgers that he was coming back to improve us in the Champions League. So if that's Rodgers' mantra coming in, then that's what we have to go on as fans. And
I think you're quite harsh on yourselves, to be honest. I think when Andrew's in Europe, you played great. You just didn't get the results, unfortunately. You look at it and go, oh, you got 2 points, therefore you're a wreck in Europe. I'm like, that's not what we saw when we watched the games. 3-0 against Atletico, 10 men, last minute Lazio, could have gone either way, different story altogether. Performance, still the exact same.
Mentality,
All that again.
Well, it is. I think that's it. It's how do you turn those great performances into results, and how do you, and it's still very early this season in Europe. We've dished out a pump into one team,
and been
pumped by another. So, after the home games are all finished, let's see where we are. But no, I firmly believe that Celtic are a club that should be judged on how they do in Europe, in the same way that if Rangers can get to a Europa League final and fly that flag, then Celtic, as the dominant team in Scotland, should be doing, as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot comes down to luck, I feel, with the draw and these things.
Yeah, but
a bit harsh on yourselves, I feel.
Best teams always find the luck. Well, whilst we've got you on, Jordan, the boys do have a couple of specific questions relating to Aberdeen. Scotty, I'm going to let you go first, please, mate.
Thanks.
Your question for Jordan.
So, obviously, Aberdeen have started the season very well. Do you think they can maintain this throughout the season?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much going into the next segment that I think we have upcoming. But yeah, for this year, Aberdeen don't have European football. I know you mentioned in the previous podcast you thought we did. We don't. So we absolutely can maintain the pace that we've got and give it a good go. The injury to Gahey was, a bit catastrophic for us. I mean, the league's top goal scorer, 5 goals in 5 games, hamstring gone, 4 months to 6 months. Who knows?
You want Dessers on loan, mate?
We've got Nesbitt, which was a really good coup for us as a last-minute loan deal, but again, just a loan.
Player.
And Miovski going, we always thought he would. I think Sockler stepped up quite well and took his goal excellently against Celtic. Too many of those we have against Rangers and Celtic. There's only 1 or 2 a game you get, and we always miss them. And he took it, and I was delighted by it. So I think, why not? Take it 1 game at a time. It's only 3 points each week. Give it a good go, but yeah.
Nice. Okay, fair dues. And what would you say would it take for Aberdeen to win the league?
I just mentioned this there. A lot of luck, I would say.
Yeah.
Too much, really. I think Celtic need to be absolutely awful. An injury crisis that we've never seen. Like if you've seen the performances, I've only seen the highlights, and they batter everybody. There's not even a chance or a close. Like, we got a close game, but really we kind of got battered for a long
Probably should have
spells.
won the game on Saturday.
Yeah, if we got beat, I couldn't say we didn't deserve it, but I thought the fight we gave was tremendous, and I couldn't put my team down at all for what happened. But delighted we got a point. Rangers can keep doing what they're doing, to be honest. No worries about them whatsoever.
All right, we're coming for 4th.
But really, we need to have no injuries. We need to have every player play out their skin for the whole season, and that's quite a lot to ask for. But we're underdogs. Who does not love an underdog?
Realistically, you've got to win your 2 games at home against Celtic.
I think the fact that we're even talking about an Aberdeen title challenge is testament to the job that the guy's done. And speaking of Aberdeen title challenges, I want to cast your mind back nearly 10 years ago, Jordan.
I was there.
How close do you think Aberdeen actually were to beating Ronnie Dyla's Celtic team to the title in either of his 2 seasons in charge? Like, for a bit of context, they collapsed after the split in both seasons. Like the gap was, I think, 7 and 8 points respectively before the split in both seasons, with Celtic still to play them at Pittodrie. But in both seasons, they lost by 17 points and then 15 points. But both of those seasons are viewed as pretty ropey seasons by Celtic fans. So I wondered if Aberdeen's fans look at that as a massive missed opportunity.
Celtic fans winning the league by 15 points but being panicky? No, surely not.
In a short answer, no. I mean, that just goes to tell you how much luck we need. You have an off season, we have a great season, Rangers don't exist, and we're 15 points off you. And that's what I was trying to say, like, we're doing a good job. So I think it was 8 points.
Only with like 3 games to go. It really was, quite a close run thing until the very end of the season.
Well, let's take the first one, 14-15. There was an 8-point gap going into the split. There's only 15 points available. Didn't expect very much. Celtic won the first 3 games. That was it. It was kind of meaningless towards that point, whether we got beat or not. But the third game they won was against us, and it was by a goal. So not too bad, but it wasn't all doom and gloom. 2014, we won the League Cup, the cup we've won the first time in my lifetime. So I was there with my dad and my friends. We were delighted with it, obviously. It was a horrendous game.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, against Inverness, 0-0, 4-2 on penalties, and celebrated like a World Cup final. It was absolutely sensational. And for that same year, we got to the Scottish Cup final, semi-final, at Ibrox, playing St Johnstone, who went on to win. And they beat Dundee United in the final. You'll never get an easier way to the Scottish Cup, and that's a big loss for us, I'd say. Not the season, not the league, because we never really thought we were going to do that. We were great to be there and expected to be second, but we're never really touching you.
That kind of ties me on perfectly to the follow-up question I had, which was, I was quite interested in the attitude of your fans now to Derek McInnes. Like, is he an underachiever or an overperformer?
I think leaning more towards overperformer. He definitely did not underachieve by any regard. Probably a hero for us, a great servant for 8 years. He also rejected Rangers to stay with us, and that's a definite plus for his legend status.
He got a statue aside for Tawdry, is that what it is?
I remember.
Doesn't get spat in pubs.
I was on a football team at the time. It was full of Rangers fans, and my general friends, and they were just, poking away, stabbing the whole time. I was like, he's leaving you to come to the big time. And he said no. So that definitely helps his case. But we played excellent football with Derek McInnes. We gave every team a good go, which is, a stark reality when we replaced them and ended up with Goodwin after one or two managers. We were like, this was horrendous football. We missed. Why did we bother changing manager for stuff like that? But in the 8 years, we got to 3 League Cup finals, 1 Scottish Cup final, and we got beat by Celtic in all of them. And then I'm sure in those 8 years, the ones we didn't get to finals, we played Celtic in the semi-final and got beat by them there.
Yeah.
So we were the only challenger that could stop winning the leagues, could stop the trebles, and we were there the whole way. Second finals. And we just came short because Celtic were a juggernaut. And remember, this is Rodgers' treble team. So Derek McInnes did superbly well, and it's just unfortunate that you go back, 10 odd years, and it's like, what did he win? And then that's how he's just judged.
I was going to say, Jordan, his European record probably goes against him a little bit during that period. The fact that they just couldn't get through any of the rounds.
I guess you've heard me at length on this, Steve, out with the podcast, where us, like Hearts and Aberdeen, we do not have the squads to compete in this European Thursday, Sunday football. We just can't. We've got 11 to 13 good players, and then when somebody leaves the team, the replacement's nowhere near really the standard, whereas the Celtic and Rangers have about 16 to 18 good players. If they change 5, nothing much really happens. Maybe they win by 2, not 4. So it always happens. It's happened the same with Hearts the last couple of seasons. 3rd place, they don't qualify anywhere, and you don't really get to the group stages, go out, suffer in the league, come 4th or 5th, or we came 8th last season. And it's the next season when you don't have Europe, like this season with Aberdeen, we've got no midweek football. We're one Saturday, and we're winning every game. Apart from the Celtic game.
You can probably prepare for them as well.
Yeah.
Just want to quickly say before we move on to another question, how I praised Falkirk for the way they played when they came to Celtic Park, but how refreshing it was to see a team typically when Celtic go 2 up in a game, right? You think that's it, game done. This will coast to be a 4 or 5 easy street. The way Aberdeen responded in that second half by making positive changes, like they didn't bring on another defensive midfielder or another defender to shore up at the back. They actually went for it, made attacking subs, and but for that ball coming off his hand, would have come back and taken a 3-2 lead. And see if every team, or not even every team, but see if the teams we expect to be the big teams in Scotland, like Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, Dundee United, see if they adopted the same approach, bringing in an exciting foreign manager rather than one of the old dinosaurs, play attacking football, invest in attacking players, adopt attacking tactics. It's really refreshing to see, and that's how you get your rewards at Celtic Park or Ibrox, and it benefits Celtic, because see, the more we play against teams actually trying to win a game or trying to counter on you, it's better practice for us when we then go up against teams who do that in the Champions League rather than just sitting with 11 men behind the ball. So full friend from me to Aberdeen this week, but I just thought it was so refreshing.
But I also think, just to add to your point, I think it's refreshing for watchers of Scottish football, as well as people who might just watch or stick on the Celtic Aberdeen game. It's a shame that wasn't. But what I'm saying is, it's a shame it wasn't. But see if it had been televised, it's a good game, and you might have got extra viewers, and that would be good for Scottish football. And then
do you know it was televised?
Oh, I know. I watched it, mate. I watched it.
I've seen that Derek McInnes is one of the favourites to take the Rangers job. If he does, yeah. If he does lose his job.
Right.
First question for you, mate, is how long does he get?
Who, Derek McInnes?
I love this. You asked it literally last week.
I don't know, to be honest. I think based on the piss poor decision by the board to extend his contract until 2028, which is looking like a really magnificent piece of business.
You said was a shrewd move.
I'll keep asking the same question if I get a different response every week, mate.
I was also probably high and delusional at that point, so no, I think
genuinely, mate. Christmas,
probably, maybe. I don't. It's hard to want to say because obviously I've said to you boys before, we're in this like cycle of just hiring and firing at the same time. I'm pretty sure was it you, Jordan, that sent it to Steve? Me, yeah. So you sent that.
The Rangers wheel.
The Rangers wheel. And we're getting to that stage of the calendar. Yeah, over there, okay.
Game tab's already happened. Just leave the cup. Just leave the cup.
Fucking Goldson left us, you bastard.
Can I make a bold prediction?
Yep.
Rangers play Aberdeen at Pittodrie on
I was just gonna
the 30th of October.
Yep.
And I think that's his last chance saloon. I think if he wins that, he gets to Christmas, I think.
Yeah.
If they draw or lose, he's gone. He's toast.
Yeah. Well, this is
a game at a time now. Like if he doesn't beat St Mirren and then he comes to Aberdeen and then we beat him.
Yeah.
I don't see how he survives that. He won't survive that.
Do they have the money to sack him? Do they have the money to sack him?
I don't know.
You gave him more years on his contract now.
Well, this is the thing. Do we have the money to sack him? And also,
they consider if he gets
fucking. He's going to be putting smiley faces on the board members and the fans, you know. But I think the question that you're right. If he gets beat, especially obviously at Aberdeen, that's just. There is no coming back from that. And if it's going to be a heavy defeat as well, which, judging by the way we're playing, the way you guys are playing, it could well be an absolute thrashing.
Well, a question for all, who's favourite?
It's
got to be Aberdeen.
Right?
It's got to be Aberdeen. Mate.
The Bookies would say otherwise, but...
With the North Sea wind behind them.
But I don't know.
Seagulls.
I just don't know. To be honest, I don't think we can afford to sack him. I think we need to get away from this hiring, firing circus. However, that doesn't detract from what he's in control. I know the club's a mess on and off, especially on the boardroom and stuff, and the fact that they've got no CEO, no chairman, no head of youth football, no director of football. There's loads of positions in key areas of the club that are missing, but that doesn't detract from the fact that he's the manager. He picks the same players that are underperforming. He puts them out in a formation that's clearly not working, that's not getting the best out of him. That's what he can control. Okay, yeah, and he's talking about the players need time to gel. It's like, hang on, this is why fans are losing patience, because we're not seeing anything from him. He's coming out with the same shite excuses after every game. Oh, the stats are good and we dominated this and we did this, and the players need time to gel. It's fucking October, mate. I mean, the players have been gelling enough. It's now time.
To be fair though, Scotty. If you look at recent history, right?
Yep.
I think it's important that we don't get carried away with Rangers' demise, and as much as I'm loving Aberdeen being in second, or joint top, which is fairer to say.
Dundee a point behind the fourth.
This feels like exactly the kind of game where I've seen Aberdeen fans get gutted before because they're almost favourites to beat Rangers, and Rangers roll up the road and then pull a win out of nowhere. So I think I do think that is the pivotal game for Philip Clement's reign. I think it all comes down to that night at Pittodrie.
Well, before the game, lads, simple answers here. And Jordan, I'm going to come to you first. Who do you think finishes higher at the end of the season, Aberdeen or Rangers?
Oh, it's a real head and heart one, that. It'd have to be Rangers. They'd have to fix it, surely.
Scotty?
Currently, you're going to say Aberdeen, but like Jordan, my heart is going to say Rangers, but my head is kind of saying Aberdeen. If they, like Jordan made a point, they're just playing Saturday to Saturday.
You will be soon too, don't worry.
We'll be playing Sunday League at this point, mate.
I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to say this reminds me of the year Hearts split the Old Firm when No, there you go, Old Firm, when nobody expected them to.
Oh, he said it! Yay!
Yeah, this was back in 2006 when it was the Old Firm. When Hearts split them that season, when George Burley had that incredible winning start. It feels a little bit like that, So I'm gonna say, let's go for the Dons to finish second, as long as they finish second.
But Rangers haven't had a penalty yet, so that's going to change very quickly. So that was a big thing.
The Masons are on it.
Listen, the new batch of Mason refs are coming in. They're getting deployed in January. All right, so the refs are coming.
The Orange Order are going to ref games now.
Absolutely, they're going to drop them in commando style onto the pitch. That's a red card. Penalty. Penalty to the Proddies. That's what it's going to be called.
Moving on to listeners' questions, and a day that it's been announced that Glasgow is going to host the Commonwealth Games.
Oh,
Keith has emailed in, and he's asked, who in your retrospective squads do you think is most likely to have a shot of winning a medal, and at which event other than football? He's put in brackets.
Okay,
Jordan, I'm going to come to you first on this, mate. Aberdeen player most likely to win.
Can I add a special mention to a Rangers player? We all guess what Cantwell and Fabio Silva will be doing. 10-metre dive, should it be?
Pirouette diving.
Just want one. I've got three. It's up to you.
He's a three. You're a guess.
You can go gold, silver, bronze.
Duke gold 100-metre sprint. That's pretty self-explanatory. I've got Rubicic, who'd be wrestling because he does it most of the games. He's got 4 bookings already. There's only been 7-8 games. And until he got injured, it would be Gahey with the rifle or pistol shooting because the boy doesn't miss.
Nice.
This is how you prepare for a podcast, by the way. Scotty boy.
The man, the myth, the legend, Cyril Dessers would get a gold medal in gymnastics.
What event?
Have you not seen him throw himself about all the games? He's thrown himself into players and then looking at the ref and saying, why? So I think he'd be a fucking exceptional gymnast. Just
to clarify, gymnastics isn't about throwing yourself into other people.
It's quite the opposite.
But it's throwing himself onto the pommel horse and trying to vault over. So he's seen a guy like Rubicic and going, I'm going to vault that motherfucker. Let's do it. So I reckon he'd be an exceptional gymnast.
And straight into a pencil roll.
Yep. Yeah. I think Tavernier would be an excellent swimmer. Just dives under the water and goes missing. You don't see him at the end at the tunnel. So I think he'd be a gold medal in swimming.
Paddy boy,
it's got to be Dyson Maida and long distance running, doesn't it? You can't say fairer than that.
Spot on. Well, thanks, Keith. That was a very topical question.
Cheers, Keith.
Now, lads, it is trivia. Scotty won his first one for quite a while last week, and Jordan, we're going to get you involved in this one as well, mate. It's pretty straightforward. The rules are pretty straightforward, although you dispute them every single week. You get 2 wrong attempts. Okay, when you get one wrong, it moves on to the next person. Scotty, you're going to open up the floor. It then moves to Pat, and then moves to Jordan. So if Pat gets one wrong, it moves to Jordan, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
We will make this very quickly. It shouldn't be too difficult, so I'm going to say a maximum 10 seconds between answers, please, boys.
Yeah.
And this week's question is: players that have played for either Rangers or Celtic, and managers that have also represented Aberdeen as either. So players or managers of Rangers and Celtic who have also represented Aberdeen.
Name the Judases is what this game's called.
So players and managers, right?
Players and managers. So they could have played for Rangers, managed Aberdeen, vice versa.
Okay.
Or played for both teams, yeah?
They either played for Rangers or Celtic, and they had to have represented Aberdeen at some
Aberdeen
point.
is the common
So
denominator.
it could be player, manager.
Yes.
Right, okay.
Aberdeen is a common denominator, as Patrick said.
Excellent.
Any questions before we start, boys? Seem pretty straightforward.
Feel free to have a pen and paper, Jordan.
Cool. Scott, I'm going to come to you first, mate. Crack on.
Alex McLeish.
Correct. Paddy boy.
Niall McGinn.
Correct. Jordan.
Ryan Jack.
Correct. Scotty boy.
Connor Barron.
Boo.
Next.
Johnny Hayes.
Smashing.
Scott Wright.
Scott Brown.
Barry Robson.
Ricky Foster.
Oh. Amy McDonald's, man. Alec Ferguson.
A good one. Brilliant one, actually. There's a bit of panic on your face, and then you just whapped that out.
It's always panic, mate. Always.
Liam Scale.
Yep.
Ross McRory.
Just got fucked.
Yep. Shit, now I'm going to have to go back, innit? Fuck, this is where I lose it.
Going to be strict on time, Scotty.
I know. Struggling.
5.
Oh, Ryan Christie.
Ooh.
Paddy Boy.
Nice.
Paul Hartley.
Yep. Jordan.
Greg Stewart.
Oh,
Judas.
fuck!
Don't take a drink of juice, mate. You got about 7 seconds.
I don't have 10 seconds. Fuck knows. Let's. Nah, I'm done.
5, 4. Right, cool. You've got one out. So Paddy, straight on to you.
Derek McInnes.
Jordan.
Oh, Mr. Mulgrew. Charlie Mulgrew.
Scott, please.
Thanks, guys. Honestly, I'm trying to cast my mind. I've got trivia blindness. Nah, I'm out this week.
Nah.
I'm
Cool.
out this week.
Paddy Boy, you get one more shot, Paddy Boy.
Mulgrew is my last one, I think. I'm racking my brains.
We could not let a guest win the trivia, boys. We do this every week.
He's an Aberdeen fan. He's naming Aberdeen players, and he's got a list of all the Judases.
They're all
Of course he's going to win. Of course he's going to win.
The spit list.
Do not serve this prick.
Paddy, that's 10 seconds, pal.
Yeah.
That's one out. Jordan.
Willow Flood.
Oh, good.
Unbelievable. Scott, you got one more goal, pal. Come on.
I thought I had two, mate. I thought I was out.
No, you've got 2. Right, just hurry up. You get one more goal. Come on. Every week.
I know. I'm trying to think, Stephen. Okay. Fucking. Oh, what's his name? The goalkeeper. No.
Ross McRory, you said.
No. Benjamin Siegrist. But he's Dundee. He didn't play for Aberdeen at all, did he? No.
Aye, didn't he, pal? Nice, not on my list. Sorry, Scott, you're out. Paddy Boy.
That's fine. I accepted it. I was out about 5 rounds ago, mate.
Gary Mackay-Stephen.
Yes.
Well done, Pat.
Oh, another one. Sonny Luco.
Oh, for fuck's sake! The trivia pressure, I'm telling you, gets to me.
Maybe Gary Mackay-Stephen was my Hail Mary.
Look at John just sitting there, just knowing he's got about another 10 Judas bastards in the bag.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I think Aberdeen take it. Well done, Jordan.
Yep.
Superb, Jordan.
Thank you.
Any
Good
more?
game. Good.
Did you have any more? That.
Jackie McNamara.
Yep.
There's Gavin Ray.
Yep.
Barry Nicholson. How do we forget Jimmy Calderwood's son-in-law?
Yeah.
I had
These are niche.
one of my naughty ones, I think this is the Hail Mary one, was Andreas Walicka. Plays for Rangers and Aberdeen.
Did he play for Aberdeen?
Yeah. He signed on, he played like 6 games.
Wow.
Excellent. Well, some of the ones I had were Paul Hartley.
Said that.
Said that. Alan Stubbs was on here.
Really?
Yep. And Mark McGee. Charlie Nicholas was probably one of the oldies.
I always forget Charlie Nicholas. I forget he was a hang.
Might have been someone's Hail Mary.
Gordon Strachan, innit?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Neil McCann actually had a short loan on Aberdeen.
Did he?
Billy Dodds. Yep.
Billy Dodds, for fuck's sake.
There's a few, isn't there?
There's a lot.
I didn't think there was that many. That's why I honestly did not think there was that many.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot. And Roy Aitken played for Celtic and managed Aberdeen. So that was one of the other ones that was on
well
my
done,
list.
Steve. That was a good trivia question. Well done.
It just makes it a lot easier when someone who's doing the trivia actually knows answers to the questions. So it makes that a bit of a battle. So
I think that's harsh. That went round. That was a nice ding dong. That was good. That was just like the 2-2 draw at the weekend. It's been so nice having not feeling outnumbered this episode.
Yeah, well,
usually it's 2 Rangers fans and 1 boy.
We can be honest if you want to.
Listen, boys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Jordan, thank you very much for coming on to The Boy and the Bear. Just before we go, have you got any parting questions for the two boys sitting here?
No, but thank you for having me on. And just remember, Pat, if it can't be us, it certainly can't be them.
Agreed. And
so in Dundee United you trust, is that what you're saying?
Halfway have it.
And WATP stands for We Are Third Place.
For now.
Caravan keeps rolling and the dog keeps barking.
The thing is, the caravan's on fire right now with no wheels. So it's
the dogs are rabid.
Rangers fans are throwing oil on it. You've been listening to The Boy and the Bear. Email us your questions or complaints at theboyandthebear@gmail.com and share this pod with your mates on group chats. And please do follow us on our social channels, Instagram, X @BoyBearPod, and we're also on YouTube where these episodes are streamed at the Boy Bear Podcast.
Hail, hail, lads.
Follow.
I'm on the sheep.
On the sheep. Pleasure as always, boys. Catch you soon.
See you later, guys.